Hey you guys, Danny here. I am talking about creativity today. In like creative rituals. Do you have something that sparks your creativity almost every time? Do you have little rituals that you do before you get in the zone? I wanted to talk about this because I've recently noticed that my creativity started to become this big lull, right? Like someone had turned the volume down. And I couldn't understand if there was something that I was doing or something that I wasn't doing that might be causing this. Is it just like emotional? Am I just feeling drained? Am I this, that, or the other? And I realized that I was actually hindering my own creativity by the things that I was doing, and I didn't even notice. So I went for a drive the other day. I was like, maybe I just need to clear my head. I had some time to myself, a couple of hours that day, and I was like, I really wanted to create something, but my mind just wouldn't go there. I just couldn't do it. And I was like, I'm just gonna go drive, see what I can see, try to get inspired. I don't know. Because sometimes visual things will, like if I see something like, I want to create something like that, but like nothing visual was working. It's usually one of those secondary things that are like spark me and like, I want to create something kind of like that. So I was like, let me just go ride around. And then I got in my car and I went to put on my podcast. I've been listening to podcasts lately along with some audiobooks and stuff. So like it's been a lot of talking in my ears. And I get down the road and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should put some music on. So I went into my playlist and I started playing music. And like all of a sudden, just this rush of creative ideas just bombarded me. It was like, do this, gotta try that, wanna do this, got an idea for that. Like everything just started rushing back and I was just like, duh. I had taken all my music time out of my routine. I didn't listen when I was driving. I didn't listen when I was in the bath or in my sacred space. Everywhere that I normally listen to music, I had cut it out. I've been listening to people talk instead. And I didn't notice how much that hindered my creativity. When I was young, music was everything. My creativity kind of flowed from the music that I was listening to. It didn't, not in the way that like, oh, this song is about this, I'm gonna make art about this, but like, it had a soundtrack. It had a vibe. And because of that vibe, I would just create these things so effortlessly. And when I started to realize this, a couple of days ago, I was just like, no wonder I felt so stifled. Like that's my creative trigger. That's my ritual that I've always done when I go to create is put some music on and just do whatever, do what comes to mind, play around with whatever art that I'm trying to do, whether that be writing, journaling, acrylics or watercolors or, redoing the house. Like any type of creativity that I've always done has had a soundtrack. It has had a musicality to it. And I figured out my block just by putting on some music. I was just floored that I hadn't noticed it before, but I had gotten so wrapped up in talking that I just didn't, whatever. So I realized that my creative spark and my creative ritual, although I never noticed it before, has always had to do with sound and music and the way that that makes me feel. So having gone through that, I want to know, is there something that you guys have that's a ritual that maybe you've never noticed? Do you feel more creative when you're doing a certain thing or listening to something or seeing something, right? Is it flicking through Pinterest that gets your spark lit and like, I have all these things that I need to do and you just go for it? Is it visual with you? So I want to know what sparks you. let me know your rituals. Comment below. Do a VR. Follow me on Instagram and join the conversation there. Like, I really want to hear from you guys what your creative rituals are. So if you're looking for me, again, links below in the description, email, Instagram, Patreon, Etsy, all the stuff down there. I thank you so much for listening and hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys very soon. I'm sending you all my love. Mwah! Later, Gators.